Okay, hi guys, and what's up? Now, I wanted to do another video. I know I just put out a video, and here is me putting out another video. I thought it only kind of right to keep up the momentum. Do you know what I mean? I feel like an Olympian right now. With these kind of consecutive videos going out back to back this week. Funny me saying that Olympics has actually started and obviously kicked off a couple of days ago, and it's been absolutely lit. Nothing short of eventful, to say the least. There have been obviously shocking moments in the 100 meters that have obviously put St. Lucia on the map. So essentially, as you can see, Alfred comes out of the blocks. Sha'Carri's trying to pick up pace. Alfred is obliterating the field, leaving everyone behind, literally. With an Alfred win. Then there has been issues with athletes behind the scenes. Take a look at what Mrs. Price had to say about the event that was going on behind the scenes. Take a look.
Said them changed the rule yesterday. Like,
wasn't
how
announced.
they change the rule and then not say it? So you're asking all the athletes who, for whatever reason, don't stay in the village, them can't come through the gate. We came through this gate yesterday and went through security and was okay. The man said we can't go, we have to go all the way up where everybody.
Then there has obviously been wins in equestrian events, which has been absolutely awesome. Absolutely nothing short of awesome. So as you guys know, right? As you guys may know, Olympics has obviously started, and you have musicians from the United States, which is absolutely amazing, carrying torches and representing their country, and obviously rooting for their fellow kind of countrymen and for their fellow people to obviously win. But yeah, I'll get to that in another video. I think I love to see when legendary artists diversify their portfolio of experience and wealth of knowledge into other industries. I think there was one West Coast rapper. He was doing all types of activities with Phelps, Martha Stewart. I was thinking, are you a mascot for America? Are you an athlete? Or what's going on here? But I think it was really good to watch. It's going to be obviously phenomenal to watch. It's obviously been phenomenal to watch. But he wasn't the only one that pulled up to the Olympics. You had Flavor Flav rooting for Mrs. Biles, and that was also amazing. You thought that was her father, the way he was carrying on. You got basketball players, singers, editors of fashion houses, as well as the CEO of LV, obviously including the athletes themselves. Now, everyone who is everyone pulled up. People pulled up to the event. Now, not to forget the tennis star as well. There was probably about 250 billion worth of gain in that room. This is not cars, but people. Man, the level of talent in that room alone was just like, wow, phenomenal. However, I obviously want to talk to you about Kamala Harris and how her nomination could actually change the car industry. As you guys know, I'm always talking about luxury cars going for 32 million, with the most expensive being like 142 million. Now, what I find astonishing is that on Sunday, announced, or a couple of Sundays ago, Biden announced he was stepping aside and going to back Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. And in just 36 hours of his announcement, she had already amassed 1.1 million unique sponsors. She had also raised 100 million in less than 36 hours. Now, she was actually appointed to be a Democratic nominee, not until very recently. But obviously in the lead up to that nomination, she received so many donations and so many endorsements. I can tell you now that the election in November is going to be good. Now this has been reported on obviously some of these kind of news outlets, who are astonished as they have never seen anything like this before in terms of records being broken. Do you know what I mean? This is like bolt lightning, astronomical moment. Like, what? Man, take a look. Now, her nomination to become the president of the United States, I will change the trajectory of the United States as we know it forever. This is just my opinion. So let me quickly give you my thoughts before discussing how this could impact the car industry. Now, the car industry in the United States is worth 104 billion in comparison to other places like, say, the United Kingdom, which is worth about 13.3 billion, right? Now, car business is big business, not just selling cars or selling parts or things like that, but it's actually really big business. But I digress. Now, with that being said, let's discuss. So Biden's actions a couple of Sundays ago not only caused a political stir, but a social one as well. Take a look.
It's too early to be making a damn drink. But I guess today we got to get to slamming because, Joe, what the heck is wrong with you? Who we got? Huh? Who we got now? You did this on a Sunday, too. It ain't even business hours. Everybody's saying Michelle Obama. Michelle don't want these problems. Hell, we don't want these problems. But we need somebody who can deal with these problems. It's just ghetto. It's just very ghetto. Like, I ain't even. I don't even. No measure. Just poor. All poor. What? Yeah, okay. Well, this is America. Damn. I wanted my shit to float at the top. This is some weak ass wine. That's what that is. It ain't me. The shit that floated to the bottle, we just. Ain't even no cheers. Just drink.
This guy is so hilarious. He had me rolling on the floor like, what did you just say? This guy is so hilarious. Not only is he so hilarious, he's actually funny. I've been obviously watching his content for years, and his commentary on certain reality shows is nothing short of amazing. I'm like, child. But anyway, I digress. I feel like Kamala Harris's nomination has rippling effects, not just on a political sphere, but throughout social media, with many in kind of disbelief, really, because they've never seen it before. Like, take a look. Now, this individual posts a lot to be a professional basketball player, but his sense of humor on the post that he posts is absolutely funny. I feel like if you're having a bad day, it just kind of lightens the moods. But the comment section of his Instagram feed is, well, hilarious and wild. They say that he's Mr. Toxic, but his content is fire. And obviously it would be great to see kind of more podcasts from himself. Sometimes I forget about the actual post that's actually been posted and just dive straight into the commentary because I ain't never seen nothing like it before. I'm like, what? Okay, I digress. No, I feel like not only is it only hilarious, but it's also, I find that not only is it hilarious, but it's obviously very entertaining. It has me quite literally in hysterics, like, what? Now, let me tell you why I feel like Kamala Harris's nomination and her being appointed to be president of the United States is crucial. I tell you this. Let me land. Number one, America needs a change. I feel like sometimes when someone that is younger than the age of a president that is usually elected, this is great. This is because even though older presidents have a wealth of kind of knowledge about legislation, reforms and bills, etc., oftentimes they are kind of out of touch with the real issues at hand. Yeah, I feel like sometimes they're kind of out of touch with the real issues at hand. I'm really a firm believer that if you can address the grassroots problems and you are more in touch with the real world on both spectrums of the social sphere, then you won. Do you know what I mean? You've won the people over. As society changes, it's obviously important to stay abreast of things that are actually happening and obviously affecting people, not just on a local level, but on a kind of broader political and social level as well. She's even on TikTok. Now, anyway, secondly, there is a high influx of migrants coming from South America and residing in places like Chicago and New York. Now, for me, I know from experience that Chicago is beautiful. By the way, I know I've been there, but the heights ain't it though. The heights ain't it. There are parts in the heights that are like, really, what is this? It's like being in a set of a power movie. Like, hell nah. I remember I was driving with someone and I wanted to go to the gas station, and they pulled over to one. I took one look and I said, no, put your foot on the gas, please. Because what's this? No. You need to put your foot on that gas expeditiously. Anyway, what I would say is, whilst migration is always good for any economy, why is it always actually happening in the droves that it is? I was watching a podcast by Charlemagne the God, and he's a very good orator and speaker, not just on political topics, but on social topics as well. He's very well versed. Now, he had on his panel a guest who I won't mention because he says some outlandish things like, did you really just say that? I have to think to myself, yeah, like, did you just really say that? You really actually believe them things you're saying? However, on this occasion, he made some very interesting points that let me look at things from a different perspective, as opposed to one particular narrative. Because I always think it's always good to look at things from a different perspective other than your own, sometimes. And anyway, one such time was this. He made a very important statement or point, which were migrants from South America are coming to places like New York and Chicago in the droves. But why is this? He gave his opinion, which was very good, and said that the states were 60% dominated by Black Americans. So even though places like Texas, California, and Florida are 60% dominated by the demographic of Black Americans, I thought, what's the big deal? Like, I needed to understand the reasoning behind his kind of statement that he made. This is when I realized, like, oh, okay. He said that states like New York and Illinois are important because they are the most conscious, they're the most political conscious states. Would give an opportunity for like an opposing party to win votes from, say, South American migrants that are actually able to vote in the event that the majority demographic of the state chose not to vote. He felt, according to him, that they could swing the state and it'll be easier to swing the rest of the other states. But this is only applicable to Americans that are actually eligible to vote. Which I thought was a very interesting point, because if the demographic of a state changes and they decide to flip from Democratic to a Republican vote, this is in with Black voters as well, to swing the majority to vote Republican, that will change the land or the playing field of the election completely. Anyway, I'm going to make one more point on Harris's nomination before I proceed to talk about CARS, which is global relations. Everybody knows, right? Everybody knows that global relations is important for like any economy to thrive. Global relations have been strained with like certain countries for like many years, and they have not looked to be addressed. Now, with the appointment of a new president who is a woman, that would certainly change, because sometimes you need someone with a multi kind of cultural background with fresh new perspectives. The CARS, why would the appointment of a new president have an impact on cars? Now, America is not really known for luxury cars, but the appointment of a new president could potentially change that. I say that to say this. America is known for cars such as the Dodgers, known for the presidential, the Dodgers, Cadillacs and Escalades, not really kind of luxury cars, as that is more often than not imported, right? Now, the environment and fuel emission is usually a big topic for presidents in the lead up to election day. In many cases, the sitting president normally passes laws in support of federal funding or the removal of it, right? For the automotive industry, which is often repealed depending on who comes into power. So say, for example, in the state of California, federal funding laws are passed for federal funding, right? But could be repealed if Trump comes into power. And it has been repealed under Trump's sitting as president. And obviously this has obviously been reinstated by the Democrats. This obviously impacts suppliers and battery companies who produce for these companies. So the fact that women are pushing individually, because I'm seeing a lot of women pushing individually, collectively for a change and rallying behind Kamala Harris, we are at a moment where real change seems possible. It seems imminent. I always think it's kind of good to do things. I always think it's kind of good to do things a certain way with friends and family and with the support of people, so we can all take off like a plane on the runway and do it one way. Do you know what I mean? I think with Trump attending the Bitcoin convention and him questioning the ethnicity of like Kamala Harris, who wears many hats, by the way, it's a list of things to expect in the event that Trump does come into power. I say that to say this. I've never heard or never seen a sitting president, never heard or seen of political unrest of an establishment under an American rulership ever. Thank you very much indeed, guys, for watching. Peace out and take care.